Hey Clashers, and welcome back to another video. And today we want to take a look at my first legend base for Town Hall 14, which I'm going to highlight on this channel. And this base actually got me to 6.2k trophies, so quite a big trophy amount. And if you guys want to copy this base, feel free to do so. Obviously, in this video I will explain how you can maybe change a couple of things, how this base did against certain strategies, and you should definitely do not miss that. Otherwise, with just copying the base, this might not be the best one at the end of the day. Either way, this base as a Town Hall 13, it got built by Yo-Yo from Alternate. By the way, huge shout out to him. So if you want to follow him or anything, I will link his Twitter in the description as well. But then I picked that up and thought like, okay, Town Hall 14, like just try to think about that. Obviously the poison of the Town Hall, the different builders and whatever is getting added. And I feel like on Town Hall 14, those heavy stack cores are doing pretty nicely, especially in Legends. So I thought, okay, let's just tweak the base a little bit, change certain things of the base, and that's it at the end of the day. So really strong base overall. And if you guys are, for example, searching for any tournaments where you can test your own bases, maybe this base as well, make sure to head over to Eurat. The link is down below in the description. That is a huge tournament which is coming up actually this weekend, so you can sign up for free. Overall, it's a prize pool of 2.5k euros, so you definitely want to join that. And well, that you should definitely go there. Like I said, the link's down below in the description. But either way, now let's get back to the base. I want to explain that a little bit so you guys know what it's all about. And then as soon as we took a look at the base a little bit more, then we're taking a look at a couple of replays against like golems, whatever. But first, let's explain the builder huts a little bit better. Those builder huts need to cover as many important buildings as possible, which they are doing perfectly in this base. They're covering the Eagle, the X-Bows, Inferno Towers, which is really key which are really key defenses. And I'm a huge fan of having at least one, if not even two builders right next to the Town Hall, because this means all of those dirty earthquake spam. Sorry, I didn't meant to say that. All of those golem and earthquake players, which, by the way, should definitely switch their army composition, because you will just see in a second why. But all of those guys who are using those earthquakes won't have a great time against this base setup. Either way, the tornado trap is right set there to defend the blizzard entry, which is most likely getting right into that compartment where the queen is, if you can't see those Tesla. And most of the time people are sending in a hound and then the blimp. With this being said, the blimp is most likely not making it because, well, with that tornado right there, the hound won't trigger it. So that's the great thing about this tornado. But obviously you can switch up the tornado as well. That's what I was talking about in the beginning when I said, okay, you can change the base and make it a bit more in your own style. Let's say you're getting a lot of attacks of like smashes or whatever. You maybe want to have that into the core. Maybe if there are some weird blimps to the Town Hall from the opposite side of the base, maybe you want to put that behind the Town Hall. There are many options where you can like surprise your enemy with one of the strongest traps in the game with the tornado. And I definitely recommend to you guys that you should change the tornado trap overall. But now, since we talked so much already about this base and like what could happen, how could this base defend, things like that, I want to just show you guys a couple of replays from 6.1k trophies, and I will just show you guys what happened. So the first attack is one of those golem surgical earthquake attackers. And as I said, those earthquakes are so damn useless as soon as you're attacking people who are not like a rush Town Hall 13. I see so many people like crushing bases with those earthquakes. But if you're using it on your own, please think about that and please consider, are those bases maxed? Is this actually a strategy which is going to work in the future? And if you ask me, I have a pretty straightforward answer, which is a no. I don't think this golem witch strategy is going to work really nicely against Town Hall 14 as soon as it's getting closer to maxed. Because those builders are a straight up counter to what those earthquakes do and to how the log launcher works. And you can see it perfectly right here. All of the builders are working on repairing those buildings, especially the builders at the Town Hall. And in those armies, you're relying on your log launcher to eventually take care of that Town Hall, which is really unlikely to happen. And with such a long way to the Town Hall, it's really bad if those builders, the time you arrived at the Town Hall, already hit it at full HP. So As soon as you're facing bases which are not Town Hall 13 level, which most of the people are still are, so at the moment you can still use the strategy obviously, but as soon as the metas like keep moving on, as soon as people are slowly upgrading their defenses, I think you will have a rough time. So maybe you want to switch more early than late, and we can see this definitely right here with those two builders repairing the Town Hall already to nearly full HP again. And with this being said, the Town Hall itself is a strong defense as well, and this means nothing can reach that Town Hall. So hey, a 1-star on 6.1k trophies is a nice thing, especially if you not like win trade and whatever. So yeah, that's always a great thing. And now the next approach, but this time the guy's saying, hey, I'm not going in from the opposite side, I'm too smart for this. I'm going in from the flank because that's way better and I'm not going to risk that 1-star. Let's see how that works. He's starting off with the Earthquake. You nearly always want to put that Earthquake onto the Town Hall to take already, like to deal already a lot of damage. And obviously, yeah, the builder needs some time. That's obviously the downside, and that's why this idea is pretty good to get into the Town Hall as quick as possible. At the same time, though, is that entry really that nicely working? Let's take a look at that. First off, the golems are jumping in, which is in behind, and then those super wizards to deal a bit more damage. Freeze onto the Inferno, like onto the Town Hall and onto the Inferno Tower to make sure the splash damage is not hitting as hard, because with all of those multi-Inferno Towers, the witches and the super wizards do not have the best time of their life, and with having 4 ground expos, those golems are having not their best time either. And you can see exactly why this base is so strong, especially as soon as troops are getting into the core, because with the setup of all of those ground expos, you have at least 3 ground expos every single time shooting at your troops. And this is just ridiculous. And now at this point, it kind of looks like, yeah, it looks pretty good, right? Like he's slowly taking care of the entire core of the base. Already took care of 3 of the 4 ground expos. The eagle's now been taken down as well. The scatter is really low as well. So this is looking pretty good, right? Well, the problem is that the back end still has so many defenses that he can barely take any percentage. This, at the end of the day, is roughly a 60% attack. So this being said, it's not the best approach. So now let's take a look at the different armor composition. The next thing about this base is that it's not this classic setup where you can just like start the Raccoon at the bottom side, let her walk either side, and just blimp the eagle. Because this base is set up a little bit different. So a lot of people are saying, hey, I'm just going in from the other side, I'm just too smart, and I'm going in from that side to kind of like mess up with the thinking of the base builder. But this is not always working great either. This is obviously like an extreme example because, well, the queen is dying in her ability because there's just too much damage, because a lot of people are underestimating those ground expos. Obviously, expos do not have another level, which they definitely should get with those healer levels, but at the same time, they're dealing still some damage. Especially that combined with like builder huts and cannons and archer towers, this can be kind of devastating to any queen. And especially now with that entry, we have a huge problem right now, or like the attacker has, which is the entry into the base is not the greatest. And as I said, we have all of the traps in the core, which means troops are getting to the core, but not any further most of the time. And that's like kind of the key right now for Town Hall 14. I feel like those stacked cores are working so great against most of the strategies. Obviously, there are always some counterplay. That's how Clash of Clans works. There is not a single base out there which is defending everything. That is not how Clash of Clans works, but at the same time, you want to defend the most common things. And this base is defending ground incredibly good. Really, really nice defense. So if you're kind of like mid-range, low-range trophy ranges, if you're getting attacked a ton by people who are using the golem attacks, like you will give them a rough time. Like they won't have any fun with using their golem attacks. And we can see this yet again with this P.E.K.K.A. smash at this time. It is barely getting to the 60%. Was yet again another defense. Let's take a look this time at air. Electro Dragons obviously are not getting used that often anymore. And I mean, to be honest, if you attack me, please still use Electro Dragons. But if you actually want to push trophies, you should use Inferno Dragons. They're just in every single case so much stronger than Electro Dragons. That is just incredible. But at the same time, I want to show you guys a bit like a small trick and how you can actually play around with those pets. So at the first time I had those storages inside the top counter compartments. So for example, you can see at the top left this double elixir storage, which kind of seems a little bit strange. Well, the reason why this looked kind of strange is because the storages first were inside the tunnel compartment. The reason why I switched that away is because with the yak, the yak is always hitting a wall where it's a building behind. Which means if there's a storage, the queen is not fast enough to clear that storage, and the yak is going to move on. Which means with the storage, the yak is going to open up the town hall compartment, and your queen is getting the town hall for free, basically. So that's why I changed this storage with the elixir collector, or like with gold mines. And this means the queen is just taking care of those buildings too quick, which gives no time for the yak to actually open up the wall. This means they have to bring wall breakers, which no one is doing. So your town hall is safe, and he needs to invest more resources to actually take that down. So at the end of the day, this base is defending pretty good overall. I hope it's defending for you guys as well. Like I said, it brought me to 6.3, 6.2k trophies roundabout, and I hope it's working for you guys as great as for me. I'm pretty sorry for always hating on those golem and earthquake attackers. I mean, it's not because anything about the strategy. I just want to help you guys because it is not a strategy which is most likely working in the future. So if you're actually facing max bases, use something different. But that's just, as I said, a pro tip at the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys back tomorrow. Until then, see ya. Bye-bye.